Well, good morning, everybody. It's Friday, June 6th, just after 7 o'clock in the morning, and I've made my annual pilgrimage over to see the Prairie Warbler, which is quite a rare warbler in Ontario. It breeds at only a few locations in the province, and we have a few of those locations not too far from where I live, so I like to get over and see them whenever I can. It's a overcast morning with local smoke from the wildfires out in the prairie areas. They're making their way into Ontario now over the last few days. So we'll see what we can see, and I'll make a complete bird list as I go and try to upload that with the video. The temperature is 17 degrees centigrade. There's a fairly high degree of humidity, and so the mosquitoes are fairly thick. I can notice right off the bat. And there's just a slight breeze developing from the east. I'm not sure if the prairie warblers will sing less on an overcast day. I'm also a little late this year. I should have gotten over here in mid to late May instead of early June, but I think there'll still be some singing. So the prairie warbler prefers open shrubby habitat in which to nest. Quite often these are burned over areas that have then regrown into low shrubs, various types of shrubs, often on oak barrens as well in Ontario. Here they're making use of a hydro cut. So I don't know how many years ago this hydro line was put in place, but obviously they clear out the trees in the line where they're going to put the hydro towers, and then they keep that growth maintained at a low level through various procedures over the years, usually cutting it back every so many years or whatever. And in this case, the low shrubby growth that has grown back on the rocky area has been suitable for prairie warblers to use it. I'm not exactly sure how many years they've been here, but they seem to like it. There's a little bit of a walk to get into the really preferred habitat from where you park, but that's good because you get to hear a lot of birds along the way. Go through some nice habitat. I've just seen a few deer jumping out of the sumac shrubs here. I didn't bring the dogs this year because the ticks are very heavy in here. And in past years when I brought them, even though I was trying to be very careful in not letting them get off the trail, they always came home with 10 or more ticks on them. Usually the big dog ticks, but still, it's a bit annoying. I think I'm coming into the area where you could be able to hear them, and I haven't heard any yet, so hopefully that's not a bad sign. It's actually a little further on, I think, is the prime habitat, so hopefully we'll start hearing some before too long. Little rabbit on the side of the road. I've just heard the song of a blue-winged warbler, but you have to be careful because sometimes golden-winged warblers will sing the blue-winged warbler song because they hybridize, and they can sing either song. So sometimes you'll hear the blue-winged warbler song, and if you actually can find the bird, it'll look like a golden-winged warbler. Sometimes you'll see a blue-winged warbler and it'll be singing the golden-winged warbler song or some other song in between the two. So it's something you have to get visual identification on to be sure of what you're hearing. So common birds along this road include indigo buntings, of which I've already heard about 5 on my little walk so far. Eastern towhees, which are of course a shrubland bird in themselves, so they like this open shrubland country. Golden-winged warblers are quite common here. Field sparrows as well, birds that you'd expect in more of an open shrubby edge of forest type habitat zone. So it's 7:42 now, and still haven't heard any prairie warblers. I did just now get a really nice look at a yellow-billed cuckoo. Unfortunately, it dashed away before I could get my camera ready. The golden-winged warbler typical song is a very fast, zippy, ascending, buzzy call. It's similar to the field sparrows, which you may be hearing on here in the background, but it's faster and a little buzzier sounding. And it goes up the scale, as does the field sparrow, but field sparrow has more tonal quality to it, I guess. No sooner do I describe the sound on here, and I start to hear a prairie warbler off in this direction calling. A nice buzzy one. It's a fair ways away though, so I'm going to keep walking and see if I hear any more. And if not, hopefully on the way back I'll get some closer encounters with the prairie warblers and be able to record the sound. The sun is breaking out a little more now too, which will probably enhance the chances of hearing prairie warblers singing. Most birds like to sing a little more frequently when it's sunny out. I think we're into the main habitat now. It's a higher, rockier area with scattered common juniper shrubs, sumac, raspberries, young trees such as ash and poplar. Here another golden-winged warbler up here. Okay, it's 8:20 and I think I've walked my way out of the main habitat area now to the east. I've come 3 kilometers east from the parking lot, and I have a feeling that further on is not really that used by the prairie warbler. So I think I'm going to stop here and turn around And hopefully we'll have more luck hearing them on the way back. As I mentioned earlier, I did hear one. Didn't see it, but I heard it singing, definitely. So hopefully we'll have a little more luck on the way back. So the ticks are quite heavy in here today, just as I had seen them in previous years. So I'm glad I didn't bring the dogs. It's amazing how easy they get on you, because I've been trying quite consistently to stay in the middle of these tracks here where it's a 2-track road, and then on the main road I stay in the middle, or at least in from the edge a bit, so they can't get on me, hopefully. But even as such, I've found 7 or 8 climbing up my pants already. They basically hang out on the edges of these grasses here, and then if you brush up against them, they just cling on to you. There's some right here on these grasses. I don't know if you can see them or not, but it's quite quiet as I walk through this suitable habitat here. I hardly hear any golden-winged warblers even, which usually you do hear a lot of them, but again, I'm a bit late. So it may turn out that that one prairie warbler is the only one I hear. Now ideally you'd like to see them as well, but we may not have that luck this year, I don't know. So I got another chance at the yellow-billed cuckoo. One flew right across the road in front of me, landed in some shrubs over here, and I got a few pictures. Hopefully they'll turn out to be half decent, or at least to the point where you could recognize the species. It's 8:52 and we've got 40 species of birds at this point. See if we get any others on the way back. Golden-winged warbler singing off to my left again. That buzzy tone. There it goes. So I think I've once again exited the prime habitat area, so it's looking like I'm not going to see the prairie warblers this year. I did hear the one, which is good, but it would have been nice to see them. But that's my fault. I'm over here a little too late, I think. So most of the ones that are here are probably actively nesting now, so they wouldn't be singing as often. The males aren't trying to attract females. They've probably already got their mates. There could be still a few unmated individuals here, and maybe that's what I heard earlier, but or it could have been just a boisterous mated individual just singing for the fun of it, who knows. But as the old saying goes, the early bird gets the worm, and this year I was a little late getting over here. That is not acceptable. The road just comes close to this forest here, and I noted something sounded a bit unusual, so I stopped and listened, and there's actually a cerulean warbler in there singing, which is another bird that I hadn't seen or heard yet this year, so it's nice to get the call of that at least in the woods here. I was actually debating just to go up around Frontenac Park where they're more frequently seen and heard on my way home, but now that I've heard one here, I probably won't be doing that. Just sang there, but I'm not sure you'd be able to hear it. There it is. And again. Try another attempt here. There it is. There it goes. Starts off as a fast and then a buzzy sound at the end. Okay, it's 9:43, so that basically ends our hike here today looking for the prairie warbler. Unfortunately, we didn't see one, but we were lucky enough to hear one at least, so that counts as well. And at the end there, we got the cerulean warbler singing in the woods, so that was nice. 2 rare warblers in one morning. I'll have to remember next year to get out here earlier. Mid to late May is more ideal for sure. Nice milk snake just crossed the road in front of me here. One of my favorite snakes. So pretty. There he is up in there. Doing the fake tail rattle here. Ready to strike if he needs to. Just found this map turtle on the side of the road. He must be a long ways from a water body. Pretty rocky land all around here. He's a pretty big turtle, about 1 foot long. Beautiful. Don't see them close up very often. Yellow-billed cuckoo calling in the background.